Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to draw and also talk about this plant that is called Monstera Adonsonii. This plant is one of my favorite plants and it's because it does have these unusual holes inside. They're different sizes, they're very uncommon. That is why today I decided to illustrate a Monstera Adonsonii leaf and just have fun with it while I talk about this plant, because it could be also calming to watch someone else draw even if you don't draw yourself. So please enjoy watching me at the same time drawing and illustrating on my iPad, and also if you want to follow along while you listen, and I'm using Procreate program. Let's talk about the care this plant needs. For the soil, I'm using a regular potting soil. For the light needs, this plant needs sunlight, I would say. I do have it in my south facing window, which gets sunlight the whole day, but I do have a protection on my window so it doesn't burn the leaves. So I would say maybe if you don't have window protection, use or like put the plant a few feet away from your south facing window. It could probably bear the morning light because it's lighter, it doesn't burn the leaves as much, depends on where you live. I live in Canada, so the sun usually in the morning is lighter and doesn't burn the skin as well, but it depends again where you live. If the sun is burning too much your plants, make sure you put it a few feet away from your window so it doesn't get full sun, or just use a protection for your window so your other plants also could use that and you can leave more plants to live in that area. For watering needs, I would say I do water my plants weekly, but because I know what it needs now. But the first few months that I had this plant, I was used to checking the soil, just like dipping my finger inside the soil about an inch and checking if I could kind of like see there is any moisture in the soil. Also you can check it with if the soil sticks to your finger, it shows that the soil is wet. But if it's the soil is not wet, go ahead and water your plant, and then eventually make a schedule for your plant so you know how often you need to water that plant, and you don't need to each time check your plant and check the soil, because that could take time if you're having so many plants. And so just I would say a watering schedule for each plant would be very helpful in future as well, and saves you a lot of time and energy, I would say. For fertilizer, I would say I fertilize mine monthly during the growth season, which is after like usually March. I start fertilizing every month. Mixed with water, I add a little few drops of liquid fertilizer to my water and then give the plant that water, and I do it once a month, and yeah, it grows pretty well. The leaves don't ever get yellow. That shows the sign of that I'm not overwatering, and also it doesn't lack any nutrients as well. If you want to propagate this plant, I would recommend cutting under the nodes, and the nodes are where the leaf usually meets the stem, and also you can sometimes see the aerial roots on that spot as well, or along the stem there might be other nodes like aerial roots coming out. So check for those are called nodes. You can put those in water and the roots start from there. This plant could also benefit from some other things like a moss pole or other plants that could climb on. Usually in nature, this plant could climb on trees and attach the roots to the trees, but also in our houses now we can use moss poles I'm also using some threads kind of like hanging from the ceiling and near my window, which kind of like gives it a pleasant look, kind of like a jungle vibe. But it is up to you. You can make your own moss pole, you can go buy moss poles, you can make moss poles with wires and then attach the moss pole somehow to your wires. And also I've seen people also use, instead of moss, they use just threads around bamboos or like PVC lines, and just like plants would hang around that. But I don't know how effective would that be. But you can give it a try. As long as it has something to climb on, the leaves are going to grow longer and also bigger and more beautiful. So give it a try. And also this plant could also be used as a hanging plant. If you want to hang it, you can hang it from the ceiling, and then instead of using a moss pole to kind of like go around, it could just like be hanging around. But eventually the leaves would become smaller, I would say, in my experience, unless it really is happy. For propagation, put the nodes inside either water or soil and just keep it humid until it starts rooting. It could take a month or a week or a few months for this plant to root, depends on how old is your node. The younger the node, the sooner the roots will come out, because it's more fresh and kind of it wakes up so much faster than the old roots. If the leaves on this plant are getting yellow, check for either the light isn't right, it doesn't get enough light, or you're watering too much, or it doesn't get enough water. It could be all these three, it could be one of them. So you need to check first the roots, bring the plant out. If you're losing a lot of leaves, the best thing is to bring the plant out of the soil, check the roots. If they're white, they're good, but if they're brownish and mushy, you need to cut back those roots and reroot your plant again in either water, or I would say if the plant is gone, just find a few maybe healthy stems and nodes along the way of your plant and propagate from that. But hopefully it doesn't get to that point, and you could catch that the plant is losing so much leaves, and you can catch it and treat it so much faster than it losing all of its leaves. Please enjoy the rest of this video while listening to some music, and please subscribe to my channel to see more tips about plants and more illustration and drawings as well. Enjoy your day. you.